Hello crafters, and welcome to another tutorial with Amy Makes That. Today you are learning how to download and import fonts into Cricut Design Space on both your desktop device and mobile device. So let's get straight into the tutorial. First, you will need to find your font. I've been using Creative Fabrica for over 6 years now, and they're one of the best websites to download fonts, SVGs, graphics, and more for both commercial and personal use. Creative Fabrica is just one of those websites you will absolutely love and need if you are a crafter and a small business owner. Right now, with my special link, you can access all of these perks for just $47 a year, which is about $4 a month. So if you're interested, I will share the link in the comments and in the video description. So I'm browsing all of the thousands of fonts and finally chose this one called Grove Font. It's really groovy and I can use it for so many fun Cricut projects in the future. First, we'll start with downloading on a desktop or laptop device. I do have a MacBook, which is an Apple device, so the process may be similar yet different if you are a Windows user. You will simply click download on Creative Fabrica's website, which is the green button, and then on the top toolbar where the down arrow is, that is where all of your most recent downloads will go. If for some reason you don't have that, you can head to the bottom toolbar on your device and find your downloads there. And then to take it a step further, if you also don't have access to either of those, search your actual device for your most recent downloads. There should be a search bar on your device and you will be able to find your most recent downloads. This is where the zip file will be stored. In order to download a font, you will have to unzip that zip file. So I dragged the zip file download onto my desktop to make it easier. From there, you will double click the zip file with your mouse, or you can right click it and unzip as well. Once it's unzipped, a folder will pop up if there's multiple files, or the single file itself will appear. This all depends on what is included in your fonts. Sometimes you will get 3 different files when it comes to bold, italic, regular. Sometimes you will just get one just like this font. So click on the folder to see what's inside. Usually most fonts will have a TTF font file and an OTF file. Now you might be asking, Amy, what is the difference between OTF and TTF? To sum it up, TTF stands for True Type Font and OTF stands for Open Type Font. TTF is your standard font file. It works very well with both Windows and Mac users. It is kind of the older but generic version of your standard font. Meanwhile, OTF is the more developed file, where it has better support for alternative characters, different number styles, glyphs, and more. I usually go with OTF because it is the more updated file type. But some say that TTF is better quality on certain devices, so it doesn't hurt to try and download both and see which one you prefer. In order to download the font, you will double click the file you want to import. Then another pop-up screen will appear with the entire alphabet, some numbers, and a preview of the font itself. Click Install Font to install it. Then the app font book will automatically open. Again, this is for Mac users, so Windows users might not have the app font book. This is how you know that the font is officially downloaded onto your desktop device. If you click on the font, you will see all of the characters of the font, including these fun swashes. So once that step is completed, I like to close Font Book. A helpful tip is to make a font folder. This is where I store all of the font files and I categorize them by where I purchased them from. So I have a folder for Creative Fabrica, Creative Market, and so on, just to keep everything organized. This next step is optional. Some people in my previous tutorial mentioned it was not necessary, while the majority said that this helped. So make sure Cricut Design Space is closed and not running or open. For some reason, closing the app may help Cricut import the font into Cricut Design Space, but again, some have said you don't need to do this. So you can proceed to the next step, which is opening a new project in Cricut Design Space. I like to test it out by selecting the text button and typing out a random phrase like "I love crafting," because hello, we love crafting. To find the font, you'll head to the top toolbar and click on the drop down arrow under font. There will be 4 categories: Cricut, System, Bookmarked, and Recent. It is important to note that your downloaded fonts from your computer will not show up under the Cricut tab. They will be under the System tab. So click on System and scroll down to find your new font, or you can search for it in the toolbar. Make sure it is spelled correctly or enter the first few letters of the font, or else the font will not show up. So click on the font and voila, the text is now changed to your new downloaded font, and you can officially make your project in Cricut Design Space. And that is how you download and import your new font onto your desktop device and desktop version of Cricut Design Space. Next, let's learn how to import a font onto your mobile device and mobile version of Cricut Design Space, because there are some extra steps that are very, very important to note. The first step is the same as before. Find your font website and download it onto your device. On Creative Fabrica's mobile website, the download button is all the way down, so scroll all the way down because it's not at the top like the desktop version. When you click download, a pop-up will appear asking if you want to download the font, and we're going to click download. At the top left corner, a blue icon with an arrow will appear. That's where the downloaded zip file and all of your downloads will appear. So click on that and then downloads. Then the zip file should be there. Be sure to click on the zip file so the folder appears with all of the font files. If for some reason this is not showing up on your device, just search your entire device for downloads. Then a folder should appear with the new font file. So here it is on our phone, just like how it was on the desktop. The folder has many font files versus the desktop only had one. For example, this one has a script version, a regular version, a bold version. So you'll have to download all of those individually. And also don't be alarmed if you can't find the file. You can also search for the actual font file instead of the downloads file. If you cannot find the file after doing all of these steps, you may not have enough storage on your device, or you didn't properly click download. So those are just some troubleshooting things that you can do to find that file. But once you know it's on your device, we can move on to the next step, which is adding the font file onto your device. You will need to download the free app called iFont. This is basically the font book app you saw on the desktop version, where it stores all of your fonts, but this is for the mobile. So open the app and click the Find Fonts to Install button, then click Open Files. Since the folder is already on our device, it automatically opened to my recents, which is, as you can see, the C washed font is here. But if not, search for the font file. So select the file you want to download and then head to the Imported tab on the bottom. The fonts will be displayed as it shows there are two files, so you will click Install. Click Continue, then click Allow. It then downloaded the font, so we'll close, and then you have to go to your settings to finish the installing. It literally gives you the exact directions with photos in the app, which is very, very helpful, but I will share them too. You'll go to your settings, then the profile downloaded tab, and the font file should pop up automatically asking for you to install. So click install. Then you'll have to enter your device password if you have one, and then the font will officially be on your mobile device. We can double check that the file is on our device by opening an app like Cricut Design Space and adding some text. The mobile app is very similar to the desktop version. If you haven't used the mobile, make sure you're looking under System Fonts and your font should be there. Also, a very helpful tip to note is if you downloaded a font onto your mobile device but not onto your desktop, that Cricut Design Space project may not load correctly on the other device. So if you're constantly switching back and forth from creating a project with a specific font or SVG on your mobile and desktop, make sure the same file is downloaded on both devices. But that is how you download and import fonts onto your device and Cricut Design Space on a desktop and mobile device. Please let me know if you have any questions, and if this tutorial helped you, share it in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more helpful tutorials like this one. I hope you're all having a very crafty day, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye!